All right.
What's up, everybody? It's Jeff with the Recovery. Joey, why don't you introduce yourself and your channel, dog?
This is Joey, man, from Parole Prison Show 92. That's where you can find me at.
All right. So why don't you kind of introduce yourself, how you went to prison, and how your addiction played into it. Just kind of introduce yourself to us, man.
Right. So pretty much, man, I had been using hardcore drugs for a while, messing around with, pills, then heroin, then the needle, of course. Long story short. I ended up getting a 20-year prison sentence. It was suspended all but three. Um,
Ooh.
and I did a year in the county, which wasn't credited toward this sentence. So I had to start a fresh 3-year sentence. I went in several Maryland prisons, all the way from maximum, my first prison, down to pre-release, worked my way down, got out of prison, and started a new life. I'm a whole different person than before I came in. So.
Heck yeah. So, I guess you want to tell us about, kind of how life is now compared to what it was before.
Man, life is great, Jeff. I ain't gonna lie. Like, everything's not perfect. I don't got that house yet that I wanted, but I do got my dream car, nice turbo car. I got a beautiful woman that can be seen on my channel as well. She's gonna do videos soon with me. I got full custody of my son. He's 9 years old. His mom's on child support. She doesn't even pay it, but it's all good because I'm still making things happen. I'm just being a man and working, man. Like
Heck yeah.
doing the complete opposite of before.
Hey, and that's what we got to do. I guess highlight kind of what led up to you going to prison, if you don't care.
Nah, I don't mind because it's all, done with now, so I'm not dealing with any of that, any legal issues. But pretty much, man, I was ripping and running. I started smoking PCP as well with my dad when he came to visit for a weekend at my mom's house, and that's what really gave me like the confidence to not care again, and start breaking into houses, robbing people, and once I did it once, it was pretty much like downhill from there. It was like okay to do now, and that's just my everyday thing, and that's how I got money to get the drugs that I needed, or else I would have been really, really ill. And I've had horrible days like that, so I pretty much did what I thought I had to do to survive, even though I know it's wrong looking back on it. I got caught up for a long string of burglaries and a lot of different thefts, man. They once they swabbed my mouth and got my DNA and my blood, it pretty much tied me to everything. So I was looking at a long, long time in prison, man. Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah. Well, and people don't realize that's what I try to tell people is it's a lifestyle. You know how you said you got used to it. Like you get used to that like lifestyle. It becomes second nature to you. You know what I mean? And we don't see another way. Sometimes. So, yeah, that's awesome, man. So you share a little about your what your girlfriend does. Don't she work in recovery type work now?
Yes, sir. Yeah, she's helping addicts. She recently got a new job. In her past, she worked for DOD, Department of Defense, and she helped. She was a child advocate. She helped troubled kids, went to their houses, helped them out, and then she also was a victim of addiction. So she used for several years. Had her best friend, her cousin, die from an overdose. A lot of traumatic experiences. But we met around the same time. I came home from prison. She came home from rehab. We met at an NA meeting, and I'm not advising people to look for people, to date there. I was going there for my recovery, but we did
Yeah.
have to meet, and we've been building each other up since then, man. And she's doing nothing but great things. Like I'm so proud of her. Now she's actually helping the people that she and I once were, that we
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. They say, to keep our sobriety, we gotta freely give what people gave to us, in our recovery. So, I guess, man, like, what would you say to anyone who's out there, man? Like, I mean, um,
Man, the same thing I got one friend still because he has always been loyal to me, and he's still out there using, and he thinks like in his mind he can just do it and he's going to get clean at his house one day. And I keep telling him, like, I hate to say this, but it is people, places, and things. Unless you change all three of those things, like, nothing's ever going to work out. You're never going to be able to get clean and get away from that lifestyle. Like you said, it is a
yeah,
lifestyle. You have
yeah,
to change
no,
things.
Well, that's one thing I try to tell people. And even if you change all that, you got to be careful, like, not to let negative people in your life that you meet, you know what I mean? Like, even if you move away and start all over, you still got to be cautious of your relationships once you start getting clean.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely be very wary of people you meet, man.
uh,
Shit.
what I guess why don't you let people know, I mean, about prison? Like, what was your prison experience like? Not to glorify it, but just to let people know, man, um,
Yeah, it's nothing to glorify because I don't like glorifying that stuff, man. Because like if I glorify it, then a kid's gonna think it's cool, just like the rappers say it's cool, but they never even been there. Also, different states have different prisons. And even in one state in Maryland, I've been to like 4 different prisons, and every single one of them were different in its own way, you know? Like there's no stereotypical prison that's just like all the prisons are the same, like the same chain gang. So for me in Maryland prisons, when I went there, it's pretty much like a dog eat dog world. It's like you got to stand on your toes. You got to be tough. You got to be a man, but you also have to respect the next man as a man. And if you don't, it's going to be a lot of trouble.
yeah,
Um, you're not really going to prison. Your paperwork's not getting checked, stuff like that, unless they suspect you or something. And if so, if somebody asks you something like that, it's probably going to be a fight because that's like disrespect in Maryland prisons. So it's a little different than the West Coast and other prisons. Nothing against them, but I'm just telling you how it is there. There are several gangs. There's hometown gangs, and normally like the Baltimore guys run most of Maryland prisons. Those are all the guys making the moves. You know, the BGF guys getting all the bikes in there, the Uptown knives, the Uptown phones, things like that. And
yeah,
yeah, it gets crazy, man. When you're in that Baltimore area, when I was in there, a guy cut a hole through the fence, came up to our it was a dorm, the bathroom window, and he was on the ground level, and the J dudes let down like this rope they made out of bed sheets with a little pocket at the end, and they just pulled up freaking all the bikes and all the K2 and all the tobacco and all the Butte, which is
wow,
Suboxone. And
yeah,
yeah, our whole dorm was loaded, man. They got a thing called the Green Team, and it's like a group of soldiers that just come to the prison in the middle of the night. They don't tell no COs. They only tell like the warden, one other person they're coming right before they come, and they just jump on everybody, man. You got to stand up, strip butt naked. They'll cavity search you. I've seen a guy get his butthole checked that didn't even have anything up there. Like
huh,
it's easy, man. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah. That's why I try
crazy.
to tell people. Even if you can go through prison and have a good bid and not have no issues and not get in some situation, whatever, it's still a terrible place to. You know what I'm saying? It's still miserable. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, you know, because like you said, you're talking about how I know in Ohio it's a CERT team that'll come through
Yeah.
and shake down the whole prison, and like you said, you're in a line of guys butthole naked, while some guys going down the road with a flashlight looking in each of your buttholes.
Yeah,
Um,
they
it's
tear
no
all
way
your
to live.
items up. They throw all your items just on the bunk, on the floor. Some of my bunkies items will be on mine. My stuff's on his. So now we're all fighting on whose chips are those, whose shebangs are these, whose hot sausage is this. Like, and
Yeah,
then the guys, and one of the Murder Inc. guys, I remember he was complaining like the damn dog went in his peanut butter, like ate some of his peanut butter. Like
yeah,
they put their hands in there and all that shit, man.
yeah.
So
They
you
don't
do
care,
get
man.
disrespected in prison. Um, by more than just inmates. You got to fight more than just inmates. It's like cops, man. The cops just always want to start shit, especially in Maryland prisons. I've been challenged to a fight by a Maryland prison guard in Hagerstown, like when I first got
Oh
there.
no, I had to see. I was in a halfway house, and this guy who worked at the halfway house was talking smack, and I was like, "Man, your staff, da da da." Well, he's like, come on," squaring up with me, and I'm taunting me, and I'm like, if I actually blast you, and I get the best of you, it's all bad for me, like, but yeah, they have that power to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So a quick story on that is this CO named Terrain. He's from PG County, Maryland. Bald head, stocky, short dude. Thinks he's kind of big. He's a CO at the pre-release. He challenged this guy to come in the phone room because they were arguing. He was like, all right, motherfucker, step in the phone room then. Terrain went in that phone room and the inmate went straight up in there and just hit him right in his jaw, cracked him, laid him out. Later on, the CO testified against him, got the man 15 years in prison. That's a true story. Got him 15 years in prison because he challenged him to a fight, but he hit him hard. He put him to sleep, and now he's doing 15 more years in prison. And that is how prison goes. Like, I'm very lucky for being able to do those 3 years and get out, you know. And I smoked in there, I fought in there. Of course, that's just normal stuff. But it's either like real quick, my friend Hess, he was in Maryland prisons around the same time as me. He was supposed to go to pre-release. He had 3 years, but his bunkie put a knife under his bed, under his bunk to hide it. And when the cops came in, they found it under Hess's bunk. Hess had to take the charge. Like he said, he can't tell and say, "Oh, nah, that guy put that under my bunk," because now he's a snitch. So he had to go up on lockup for that. Meanwhile, the other guy saying, "Yeah, Hess is a solid dude. He took my charge for me. He said he would take," but he didn't say that. He set him up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like the inmates play dirty too.
I used to check my rack in my area on the regular, on daily,
You have to.
because I've seen cats where, you know, the dogs come in and, you know, dude next to him's got a pack and he throws it under his rack. You know, ain't nobody leaving a pack of right underneath their mattress. You know what I'm saying? And the cops even know that. But once it's under your mat, you're done, you know, and I've seen it happen.
Unless you're going to go back and write that statement and say it was Joe Blow's, it's yours. And you ain't going to write the statement because you ain't going to come back on the compound after you do that. Or it'll be a done deal.
Exactly. And well, my wife always asks me, like, you know, why I'm so paranoid sometimes. And it's because I seen guys do it to, you know, I seen it happen to guys and it'd be their buddy that did it to them and not, you know what I mean? Dude, you know, dude's catching a new case. Other dude don't, you know what I mean? Just worried about getting his next fix. It's just crazy, man.
Right. Yeah. They don't care, man. It's like a popular game. It's like they, you know, like I told you earlier, certain people get cracked for breaking the microwave, but let the other dude do it and ain't nothing going to happen to him. You know, it depends who's got your back, who's popular, who's not. Like it's crazy, man. The politics in certain prisons are not the same as others is what I'm trying to say. And prison can't be glamorized because you don't know what prison you're going to go to. Even in Maryland, they got several different prisons, like I said, and it's it varies from each one.
Even what people would call a sweet prison or a sweet jail or cupcake camp.
Right. I've heard that.
You know what? I've seen guys air carried out as level 1. You know what I mean? Level 1s and 2s just the same as 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's another thing. That's why they took food tables from us in pre-release. This guy Fresh, he's from Calvert County, Maryland. He went up against the Murder Inc. dudes. There was like 10 of them in there, and he was by himself. Now I give him props. He went hard for doing it, but they cracked him with the pool sticks, hit him with the pool ball. They damn near cut his ear halfway off. Got flown up out of there, man, at a pre-release status prison. They took the pool tables for like a year because of that.
And well, that's why I try to tell people none of it's good, man. You're either way, you're locked away from your family. You're taken away from life. If you're gone and forgotten. That's just the facts of it. So, you know, how's life going since being released, and what are you doing to try to stay free and better your life? I guess is what I want to ask.
So what I was doing and still am is just, you know, I'm in drug court too. I graduate next month. Long story short, that's a very tough program. A lot of people know about it. But I just stick it out, man. It's taught me a lot of patience, taught me how to go down, you know, and get federally bonded. So I'm insured when I file for a job. It taught me to be responsible and be at all these counseling appointments, do my counseling and actually try it out and listen. You know, I'm staying away from the prison mindset. I'm resetting my mind and learning how to be a man and provide for my family now, you know. And also with this YouTube thing, I found out it's like a great way to vent and warn others that haven't been through it. Like, you don't want to live that life, man. I want a better life for everybody, you know. I want to help as many people as I can, so that way I can kind of wash away my sins that I've done in the past.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And that's one thing I wanted to speak on is I seen you, you know, you videoed one of your counseling sessions, and I always tell people, man, I believe mental health is a huge part of recovery for people because, you know what I mean? Our thinking's broken. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've lived a certain way for so long, we almost need that, you know, person in our ear helping point us in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it always helps. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, because I'm my own worst enemy. That's why I vent. I get on here on my channel and share, and I help others. If they reach out, because that keeps me out of my head. You feel me? Um,
Right. Right.
you know,
Idle time. Devil's
yeah,
play. Man, yeah, devil's
yeah.
workshop. It's
So for
true.
sure. Well, look, man, we'll probably have you on for another, again for like a part three, just to go deeper. Um,
Yes.
I'd like, like I said, I'd like to hear more about what's going on with you, share more, just give us an update on how everything's going.
Yeah, definitely, man. I got tons of things going on, man. I'm about to head off to work right now, as you know. But yeah, I got a lot going on, man. A lot of good things, and just trying to make life happen one day at a time, man. Just
That's
taking
right.
things, you know.
Awesome, brother. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. And I'll chop it up with you again soon.
Yes, sir, man. We can definitely do that. Part three coming soon. Parole Prison Show 92, baby. Stay tuned. Check out the channel. Got content coming every day. Jeff?
Everybody stay up, stay clean.
Yes, sir. Check